and sometimes speed up and sometimes slow down. It's critical to be aware of this point. The essence is focus, and you must manipulate and maneuver the prayer accordingly so that you are focused. The length is not the question, the focus is the question. Of course, this is based entirely on personal discretion. What's good for you? What works for you? A fast pace or slow pace? Take an example perhaps of someone who is told that they have to go from here next door, but you must take your time, you must take 10 minutes. So walk very slowly, like heel after toe, heel after toe. You'll get exhausted by the time you've walked 10 steps, because it's draining, it's exhausting, it's too slow. Someone turns around to you and says, you have to be next door in 5 seconds. 5 seconds? Who can run so fast? It's too fast. Pace is essential. How quick or how slow is good for you, and make it work. How important is this? There's a beautiful explanation once given by the father of Reb Shlomo Zalman Auerbach, Reb Chaim Leib Auerbach, Zecher Tzadik Livrocha. He asked a wonderful question which really illustrates this point perfectly. On Erev Yom Kippur, at Kol Nidre, after we daven Ma'ariv, and we say Shema, and then Baruch Shem Kavod Malchusa is said aloud. Why? Says the halacha, because we're similar to Malachim, and they say the words Baruch Shem aloud, so we also say it aloud. However, after Ne'ilah, after Yom Kippur, when we daven Ma'ariv, Baruch Shem is said quietly. Rav Auerbach asked, really the order should be quite different. When are we like Malachim? When we spent the whole day in prayer, Salach lanu, Machal lanu, Kaper lanu. After that, in Ne'ilah, by Ma'ariv, then we should say Baruch Shem aloud. At Kol Nidre, at Ma'ariv, when we say Baruch Shem, most people are feeling quite... they've eaten too much at the Suda Mafsekes. That's one mitzvah which most people keep very well. They eat a great deal. And the taste of the chicken or the soup is still on their mouth. You don't feel like a malach maybe at Ma'ariv before Yom Kippur. So it really should be the other way around. Malachim is really after Yom Kippur, not before. And Rav Auerbach explained as follows. No, it's not the inflation of the stomach which is dependent on Baruch Shem, aloud or quiet. It's the focus in the mind. When a person begins Yom Kippur, there's one thought in his mind. Slach lanu, machal lanu, kaper lanu. There's a 24 hours ahead of which I must maximize on my potential. The mind is focused. But once it comes to Ma'ariv, after Ne'ilah, the focus is on coffee and cake. You're somewhere else. The mind is focused somewhere else. You might be in a status of a malach, but the mind, and that's the intrinsic, that's the most significant of all, is the focus in the mind. And that is the quality which we're looking for here. The ability to focus, to be aware of what we're saying and be conscious of it. These are really the 5 themes which I'd like to bring out of what does it mean Kavana in prayer. The first is the intrinsic nature of a shadchan, the heart and the mind connection, and the chuppah is the mouth. And that's where it comes together. And it's hard because they have different qualities, but they must be brought together. But we're working, as words of comfort, we're working with percentages. And the percentages is the point. Not to be disillusioned if one doesn't reach 100%. Like a Talmud Chacham, it's work in progress. You're on the way, you're getting there, you're improving, you're lifting the bar. The next point is the importance of an entrance lobby. It's based on Av, or the connection. And that connection is intrinsic, because then you know when you're coming to open the Siddur what you're coming into, an expression of Av, or V'ahavta es Hashem Elokecha. That's the Ani L'doidi V'doidi Li, facing Yerushalayim. And then there are moods, there are time periods like Shabbos and Yom Tov, of which the affection is much greater, much stronger, more palatable, more functionable. You realize it more. The themes are the themes of light and darkness, and the theme also of It's a mitzvah iyunis, the Chazon Ish of concentration, the mashal of the tree. It's how deep that understanding is the strength of the words on the prayer, which is the nimshal of the leaves. The mood in the mind is critical, because not only who you're standing in front of, but what the mood of the prayer is. And that mood helps a great deal to gain concentration. And finally, working with the tool of focus is really a question of length, which is completely arbitrary, according to what's good for you, what works for you, and that is the level of focus which a person reaches. These are the points of introduction and definition of prayer. Next time we'll discuss the laws of halacha in tefillah and open up the Shulchan Aruch and see what's required according to the Shulchan Aruch. Thank you. Kol Tov. Okay. Thank you. Came out very well then. I'm very pleased with it. We can make up this is a series.
Right.
Imit Hashem. This is the first of the three.